So DeWanna Bonner is somebody that could have been 50 grand richer, but she decided she wanted to leave the Indiana Fever. That's her choice. It was her choice to be 50 grand poorer at the end of the day. She made that choice. Nobody else made that choice for her.
The Indiana Fever just won their first Commissioner's Cup without the so-called veteran leader who deserted them, and they did it while taking home a huge $500,000 prize pool that Bonner will never see a dime of. This was the most exquisite example of instant karma in WNBA history.
I don't care what nobody says, bro. She's a quitter. Well, I'm telling you right now, a lot of people is definitely poking fun at her online for missing out on $50,000, bro. Now, if you guys did not notice, the Indiana Fever winning the Commissioner Cup grants each player on the basketball team a $50,000 bonus. And unfortunately, DeWanna Bonner will not receive that same amount of love because, you want to know why? Because she quit the damn team.
This is about a player who believed she could leave her team and win somehow, only to watch from her couch as the Fever stunned the basketball world by crushing the 140 to Minnesota Lynx in the season's biggest upset.
If you guys don't know, obviously, DeWanna Bonner was a player for the Fever, and she's currently a player for absolutely nobody. She's currently a player for nobody. She's currently a player for YMCA Basketball Club, where she's getting every team that wants to go and sign Bonner also wants to sign Emma, and Emma's a better player. Emma is the better player. So they straight up, they're out here using DeWanna Bonner as a consolation prize, and until the signing for Emma Messiman is sorted, it does not appear like she's going to be signed by anyone.
Bonner, meantime, is frantically attempting to determine which team will pick her up next. Her former teammates just received prize money ranging from $417,000 to $450,000 for $1,540 each, in addition to $5,000 in cryptocurrency provided by Coinbase.
And quite frankly, this has to be the biggest quitting situation in a mighty long time. In a mighty long time, somebody said your front office brought in Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, return to Sid Coach, and thought there was going to be contenders. They are contenders, bro. They just won the Commissioner Cup. Somebody said DeWanna Bonner is washed up, and me personally, see, this is not getting talked about, right? What's not getting talked about is actually this. How about Ari McDonald being more valuable than DeWanna Bonner? Ari McDonald having a bigger impact on his basketball team than the two-time WNBA champion, Ari McDonald. Than the two-time WNBA.
In June, Dina Bonner threw a fit and left the Indiana Fever, saying that the fit did not work out. Her departure coincided with the team's most momentous event, which no one could have foreseen. The strongly fancied Minnesota Lynx were destroyed by the Fever 70 for 259, but it wasn't just a win. It was a declaration that players incapable of handling pressure are not needed by this team.
The Indiana Fever are sipping the sweet nectar of the Commissioner's Cup. Now, I've been saying that the Fever are formidable, even through the struggles so far this season, Caitlin Clark being out with injury, obviously. That's because the addition of Ari McDonald and the switch with DeWanna Bonner is a big boost for this team. That's because I've seen other trends that point in the right direction. Obviously, Aaliyah Boston is a star. Kelsey Mitchell continues to thrive. They got that production from Natasha Howard that was missing to the tune of Commissioner's Cup MVP. Role players stepped up. Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull's been there all season. You put that together with a healthy CC, and I do think the WNBA has to still watch out for the Indiana.
Subscribe if you're enjoying it. Imagine this. Knowing that she might have been holding that Commissioner's Cup and earning that bonus check, Bonner was likely watching her former team celebrate their first trophy since 2012 while she sat at home on Tuesday night. Rather, she's receiving calls from agencies who are looking to place her in a new home. The Phoenix Mercury and Atlanta Dream are her top choices. A player who leaves in the middle of the season may not even be wanted. by some teams.
It's kind of funny now, but I know it ain't funny to her because, yeah, she's been awkwardly quiet. She didn't congratulate the team for whatever reason. And, yeah, people was definitely poking fun at her. Somebody said, I know DeWanna Bonner sitting at home big mad like, I know she is, bro. I know she hella mad right now. 50K going down the drain. One fan saying missing out on the extra 30.
There is nothing better than the irony. Bonner expected to be an experienced leader and starter for a team that was vying for a title when he signed a $200,000 0-cents contract with the Fever after she averaged a pitiful 2.6 points on 2 of 12 shots in her first 3 starts. Coach Stephanie White made the evident decision to sit her, and Bonner was unable to cope with the reality check. We all know that his excuse of personal reasons, which was code for my feelings are hurt, caused him to miss 5 consecutive games.
She felt like she couldn't fit with the rotations of the team. She's upset that Lexi Hall took her spot. That's the truth. Little blonde girl from next door took her spot. That's what it was. Well, Lexi Hall is a good basketball player. I think she earned that spot, in my opinion, and she's shooting very well from the 3. She's an excellent 3-point shooter this season. She's a sniper this season, and she hustles. She gets rebounds. She gets steals. She puts her heart out.
Ari McDonald was the Fever's true veteran while Bonner was spouting and making plans for her departure. McDonald's performance in the Commissioner's Cup final only served to highlight Bonner's foolishness. In 25 minutes of championship basketball, McDonald scored 12 points, pulled down 3 rebounds, committed 1 steal, and had 2 blocks. Bonner never gave this team the kind of clutch performance that they needed. In light of McDonald's trip, Bonner's outburst seemed even more pitiful.
Let's go, boy! The beast is finally back, man. Somebody that waited patiently and wanted to be here, man. Get that string bean, paper clip built as DeWanna Bonner up out of here. That's why you got waived. And we brought back Miss Ari McDonald, who made more of an impact on the hardship deal than your goofy ass did the few games that you played, Goofy. Ari is lit.
This player signed a hardship contract with the Fever after being cut by the LA Sparks, was released according to league regulations, and was brought back just days before the Commissioner's Cup. McDonald took advantage of every chance and won over fans with her hustle and tenacity rather than griping about her position or seeking moves. There is no greater striking contrast. In her first 3 games with the Fever, McDonald averaged 11 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals, instantly demonstrating a more basketball IQ and spirit than Bonner did in 9 games. In the most important game in the Fever's history, McDonald provided exactly what Bonner was unable to: a step forward. Performance at the championship level under duress.
What it is. Ari McDonald, 12 points. She played well as well. 12 points, 2 blocks, 3 rebounds for Ari McDonald, 5 for 6 from the field. Ari McDonald and Sophie Cunningham, from an efficiency standpoint, they had themselves quite the ball game. Sophie Cunningham, 4 for 6 from the field, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line, 13 points, 7 rebounds off the bench for Sophie Cunningham. Stephanie White saw something from Sophie that she didn't like seeing so much from Lexi Hall, and Lexi Hall only played 15 minutes, giving a majority of that time to Sophie Cunningham. At the end of the day,
let's discuss how significant this upset was. The Minnesota Lynx were predicted to easily defeat a Fever team that was 8-and without their main player going into the Commissioner Cup final, since they had the best record in the WNBA, 14-2. The Lynx were coming off the season-long dominance and had the league's top offensive rating. Everyone predicted that the Lynx would manage the Fever with ease. They were in Vegas' favor. Most supporters anticipated a landslide victory, and analysts selected Minnesota. The defending Commissioner's Cup champions were the Lynx. They faced a Fever team without Caitlin Clark because of a groin ailment, and they enjoyed home court advantage at Target Center. This is where the lovely irony enters the picture, though. More heart, tenacity, and championship DNA were displayed by the Indiana Fever when they were playing without their biggest player than Bonner ever did. They fell behind by 13 points in the first quarter, but they rallied for an 18-point run in the second quarter that totally turned the tide of the match. They had their lowest scoring total of the season and restricted the league's top offense to only 59 points.
But the Indiana Fever go up 9-6 early in the first quarter. The Minnesota Lynx go on a 12-0 run, taking the lead. So maybe this is when they, the Fever, the Lynx dominate the Fever to win maybe that's when they thought it was a good idea, but they didn't realize that Stephanie White called a timeout after that, and the Indiana Fever went on a 14-0 run themselves, took the lead, and didn't look back from that point on. This wasn't the prettiest game, this wasn't the most exciting game, but this was a game that a lot of people wrote the Indiana Fever off. Without Caitlin Clark, a lot of people said the Indiana Fever have absolutely no...
Caitlin Clark demonstrated more leadership from the bench than Bonner ever did on the floor, despite being hurt and unable to play. Every huddle, every timeout, and every pivotal moment had Clark at his side. She wasn't whining about her position or offering justifications. Even when she wasn't able to play, she was always there for her teammates and trying to help. Clark celebrated her teammates on social media following the game, posting, "My girls did their thing. I'm really proud," egg with 6 red hearts. That is LFGA. This is the hallmark of true veteran leadership. Prioritizing the team, acknowledging the accomplishments of others, and looking for opportunities to assist even when you're not the center of attention. Especially telling is the video of Clark watching the trophy celebration from the sidelines. She allowed her colleagues to take center stage as she stood with Sydney Carlson and Lexi Hall, conversing with Sophie Cunningham. She had the option to take center stage and make it all about herself, but she chose to revel in the background instead. In contrast, Bonner was unable to attend games when her sentiments were damaged.
You know, some of the other aspects of that, like I said, you had the plays within the game. You had Kelsey Mitchell finding Sophie Cunningham on this play for a big 3 that led to a CC celebration. Cunningham's cut off in the angle. See, there she is. And there's Caitlin Clark. Sophie.
The karma becomes even more delightful when we discuss the money. The $500,000 prize fund for winning the Commissioner Cup equates to about $42,000. There is no player. Every player also got $5,000 in cryptocurrencies, and Natasha Howard, the MVP, received an additional $5,000 incentive. In a single night, Bonner, who earned $200,000 for the season, saw her former teammate collect about 25% of her yearly earnings. The kicker is this: if she hadn't left the team, she would have been qualified for that bonus. She is attempting to sign somewhere for the prorated veteran minimum instead, which is far less than what she was earning with the Fever. Ari McDonald, who signed a deal worth about $53,000 for the rest of the season, recently received bonuses that nearly equaled the value of her whole contract. In just a few weeks, she went from being cut by the Sparks to receiving championship money, all due to the fact that she possessed the character and work ethic that Bonner did not.
And for DeWanna Bonner, that could be an absolute disaster. And like, she's already cost herself, what, 50 grand? Between the guts of 40 grand they make from the Commissioner's Cup and the at least 10 grand she's cost herself from lost salary from not playing those, from being unemployed for a couple of times. And then for the rest of the year, it's going to cost herself another 50 grand. She's going to cost herself about 100 grand because she didn't think the fit was correct.
Winning the Commissioner's Cup is about more than simply the cash or the trophy. It concerns the implications for the Fever's hopes of winning a championship. This club just demonstrated that they can defeat the league's top team without their best player, despite many doubting them as serious title contenders. The Fever, who are currently 94.1% playoff bound and regarded as championship threats alongside the Liberty Aces and Lynx, demonstrated their championship DNA and ability to win without players who can't handle adversity by depending on fighters like McDonald, Howard, Boston, and Mitchell. Bonner still thought she was joining a comfortable retirement home and missing out. Rebecca Loeb's prediction that the Fever would win a championship is supported by their Commissioner's Cup victory. Bonner's club is now positioned for a deep playoff run and a possible championship. This demonstrates the generational gap in the WNBA. While athletes like McDonald welcome the chance, bitter veterans like Bonner are upset with Caitlin Clark's lead change. Bonner embodied every flaw in the mindset of the old guard. Players who were content to play in arenas that were only partially occupied and get paid without feeling like they were making a difference. Rather of seizing the chance, Clark arrived, packed every venue, set television records, and made the WNBA important. Bonner perceived it as a danger to her cozy life. This squad has embraced something greater than individual ego, as seen by the Fever winning their most important game. Without Clark playing, the attention does not scare them. They flourish there, they don't mind being noticed. Through their play, they merit it.